What's up, my beloved?
Yes.
What's up, my beloved?
I got the sauce. Smackalicious. Beat love, beat love, beat love 3 times. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
You guys, today I have the hubby in the building.
That's right.
He has scallops. I have Dungeness and what I have?
Shrimp.
And then I got some garlic herb butter sauce that I made. Y'all, let me know if y'all want me to work on a garlic butter sauce seasoning mix. Let me know down in the comments or write me. Let me know. Write me at bloves2cook@gmail. Probably write me at bloves2cook@gmail.com or something like that. Or I try to, because I don't be in the comments like that, but I'll try to check the comments or have Nate check them.
Oh no. Hey. No.
But just let me know if you want
too
a
much.
seasoning mix for the garlic herb butter sauce. Let me get my 2 shout outs out. Today's shout out goes to Royal DeCosta. Is it Costa or Costa? DeCosta or DeCosta?
Costa.
DeCosta. Anyway, she is from the Jamaican. She's from Jamaica. And she has been here for 7 years. She does reaction videos. She does mukbangs. You guys, she has a great personality, very relatable. So you need to go check her out. And I love her accent anyway. I love her accent. Anyway, I'm going to leave her link down in the description box below. And also go check out the Franklin family. She does mukbangs with her son. She does vlogs here and there with him and her, with play dates and different things like that. So go over there and check both of them out. I'm going to leave the links down in the description box below. We're going to say grace and we going to get it in.
I just answered an email from her.
The Franklin family, yep.
There you go. All right, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this food and drink that we're about to receive. We ask, Father, that you bless it, that it may be nourishing to our bodies. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And thank God. And everybody on God.
Amen. All right, so tell me about this request that you got.
Okay, so people have been asking some, we have gotten more than, we have gotten requests of marriage advice or, the things that, just tips on marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? How to stay together. Because, marriage, you're going to have your ups and downs. But at the end of the day, it's about the two getting together and making it work for them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not getting it together, but, getting it together and making it work. Now, I'm going to move this, y'all. I'm going to put my butter sauce up here because I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all going to see blurriness for a while.
And I got to eat before I talk because I'm hungry.
Is that going to be all you going to eat? That's what I said.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
I told y'all I'm on keto, so.
Yeah, he's on keto, y'all.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm kind of switching, keto, ultra low carb. Well, I'm doing pretty good. Down about 12 pounds now.
Yeah. So that is what it is. So he's been eating, tell him what you've been eating. You've been eating Atkins.
Yeah.
He's on 20 carbs a day, y'all.
So basically, I started off doing keto, just straight keto, 50 carbs or less, to ease my way into low carb. And I didn't get no headaches, no nothing. I didn't deal with none of that.
That's because they have so many things in place now. They didn't have that stuff in place when I used to do it. Remember?
Back in the day when we did it, it was like you had to make your own food. Like you couldn't find like a lot of low carb options when it came to prepackaged food
or bars.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was just hard. I think that was back before the lettuce wrap and all that other stuff. Or maybe it wasn't. I just didn't know how to.
Not the lettuce wrap, but you talking about the bars.
Oh,
they didn't have no freezer meals.
Right,
they had
They had the bars. They didn't have the freezer meals.
I don't remember
they
the bars.
had the little, Atkins bars.
I ain't never ever in year 2000 when Darius 2000 when Darius was born.
Oh yeah.
I ain't see no Atkins bars. What you talking about? You be eating with caramel and whatever.
Oh yeah, they wasn't like that.
What was that?
Undesirable. You look at the bad boy like, I ain't eating that.
Probably a cardboard.
It's like them protein bars.
Which one?
The big meal replacement ones.
Oh, I kind of like those.
They have about 30 grams. Now, I ain't talking about those. I'm talking about the muscle ones where you know, it's got about 30 carbs and it's about 300 calories or something like that for it's a meal replacement.
I don't know about that life.
But you can taste the protein in some of those.
How do protein taste? Like a powder?
Yeah, it's powder.
I'm gonna say, how can protein taste? Y'all got me some water. Look at this water. This is the pineapple coconut water. It is pretty good. I thought I wasn't gonna like it.
You like it?
Yeah. I don't know what happened that day.
Which one do you not like?
I don't know what happened that day that I didn't like it. I think it was I don't know. Maybe I was my taste buds was off. These are good. These are waters, y'all. So this pineapple coconut. This is from Walmart.
Was he eating something sweet?
Probably so, knowing me. But that I don't care. I brought me some more sodas to be able to go with the color.
Oh yeah.
You know, to brighten it up. Ooh, this so good, y'all. Y'all probably already get these. Because I used to drink these all the time. All the time.
Does it tell you how many ounces is in that bag?
No.
Not at all?
I don't know. Why?
Might find out. It makes it easier to
Probably
record.
1 pound. I ain't gonna tell you ounce like that. I should have made me a bag.
A bag of what?
A bag to put my stuff in.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
What?
I know what you're
What's
talking
wrong with you?
about. I was thinking.
You all late? Like,
You said you should have made you a bag, and I was in the middle of a thought when you said that. I'm almost done. We're gonna get into this combo.
no, y'all. Some people like their butters red. You know, I think it's something about the red butters. On camera.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. But people still can buy it for their homes. It's good though. The scallops good? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all probably click off this video. We've been 8 minutes not doing nothing. My husband had to eat. I should have had you eat.
You know I had to eat, y'all.
I should have had you eat first.
I had to eat because
You like dairy.
You know, eating changes your whole mood. Changes your, you know. Gives you energy. You can. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all probably don't see Darius eat with me tomorrow. You're gonna have to eat first. Before every video.
Why? So you can talk?
Cause he don't eat. And I'm
Yeah.
tired of him not eating.
Yeah.
And it would change his attitude, his what, you know, him eating. His eating regimen.
That boy don't eat. He's so picky.
He picking. And he will eat. But
he don't eat a lot to get, you know what I'm saying? He gets full fast.
Right, he gets full fast. And then if you eating it when you talking, oh no, it really ain't going down. So I want him to eat. So I'm gonna tell him, you eat off camera. And then you'll be able to eat. Now he ate yesterday a lot.
Did he?
Yeah. Because he off camera.
Oh yeah.
So that's where it's gonna be, y'all. That boy need to eat.
He want to eat once or twice a day, people.
No, he ate once.
No, he be eating while we sleeping. That's why he don't be hungry, because he be eating at 6, 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
12. He a 12.
Anyway, all right. So, the question was about...
It's just overall, baby.
Yeah, it's overall.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to name names and stuff.
I wouldn't do that anyway. So, the discussion is about, you know, as a man, what could you do or what should you be thinking about
For your wife or your...
to make your marriage work well. And first and foremost, I would say, when you're getting married, don't confuse love with marriage, because they're not the same.
What?
Love and marriage are not the same. How you feel about that? Got some controversy now?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Help me out.
I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. So, I'm gonna quote a popular quote regarding love. It says, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always preserves. Love never fails." So why do I say, just from the Bible, y'all, 1 Corinthians 13. So why do I say that love and marriage are not the same? Look around. Look around. People get divorced all day long, all the time. What's the divorce rate, like 50%?
Or over.
Or over. Were those people in love? Absolutely, they were in love. They were in love when they got married. But as I said, love and marriage is not the same. You could be in love with somebody today and not in love with them tomorrow, so to speak. Things change. Marriage is not that way. At least not according to the way that the marriage vow is supposed to be taken per the Bible.
Right.
The marriage vow is a vow till death do you part. It is a vow in sickness and in health, in richer or for poorer.
Right.
It's not the same. Think of it like this. You entered into a contract, an agreement between one another and God that says that no matter what, up, down, left, right, no matter what trouble comes, we are going to stay together. That's what the contract says. Okay? And there would never have been a change or an amendment to that had it not been for the hardness of our hearts, right? In dealing with one another. There wouldn't be no divorce. We would just be together forever.
Forever, ever?
Forever, ever. Okay. That being said, if you know that as an individual in life you're going to have problems, as an individual, not related to the person that you're going to marry or are married to, if you know that in life you're going to have problems, then you should know that in life with someone else, you're going to have your problems plus extra problems.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Paul said it like this: I want to spare you the extra problems that come with marriage. It's just how it is. Right? So when you picking a mate, the key to me is the foundation. It's the things about that person that they believe extremely strongly that won't change.
Right.
For us, it is our love for God and commitment to God and to the contract that is His word, right? The you know what I'm saying? That's how we conduct ourselves.
Right.
Doesn't mean that we perfect at it at all.
Exactly.
At all. I mean, we make mistakes all the time.
Right.
But it is when you get into them times of trouble that you revert back to that and say, okay, how do we fix this? What it becomes the mutual ground that you can stand on when you are completely at odds.
Right.
Because in marriage, you're not going to always see things the same way.
Sure ain't.
You know what I mean? And so I think if I had to come up with 5 things, that were the most important things about marriage, I would say number one is who you pick to be married to.
Right.
That is number one. We talking about success? If you don't pick a person that is compatible to you, listen, I find this statement pretty true. Whoever you're around the most of the opposite sex or whatever the case may be, whoever you're, I won't even say it that way. Whoever you are around the most, that you spend the most time with, that you're most familiar with, have the largest chance and opportunity for you to fall in love with them. Just because you fall in love with them doesn't mean that they're your partner.
Right.
It doesn't mean that. And furthermore, just because you are on paper compatible doesn't mean that in life you're compatible. You see all these matchmaking shows and all these things like that.
What's it? Get married.
Married at first sight.
Married at first sight.
Just because you are on paper compatible with somebody doesn't mean that is actually going to happen in real life. The reason why is because people lie. And people don't, not intentionally, but we get into the position where we want to answer those questions in a certain way.
And we want to
say it the right way.
We want to look perfect.
Right.
We want to look
like
not. Something we're not.
We're not perfect. So number one is pick the right person. Pick them not because of the way they look, not because of the way they sound or how intelligent they are, but pick them.
You said pick them not the way what?
Not because of the way they look. That's a part of the equation, but that's not the main thing. Pick the person that shares the same type of foundational, infrastructural things, moral compass that you have.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, those things, that common ground, will get you through a lot of things that love won't get you through.
Right.
It'll get you through a lot of situations and trouble that comes that love won't get you through. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys have the same sort of foundation, like I said, our foundation being in God, if you have that same sort of foundation, you can get through a lot of things. And on top of that, don't pick a person that's exactly like you. It's tough because when you're dealing with a certain situation and you don't know how to figure out how to deal with that, and they think and act the same way as you, y'all both in the same situation don't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? Having somebody who is comparable, who actually compensates for your shortcomings, especially in tough situations, is key to marriage. To me, that's number one. Number two, because you're gonna go through a lot of stuff in marriage, your ability to communicate through those things and really understanding how it is that your mate communicates in those situations and outside of those situations is super important.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the middle of a situation and you cannot communicate, it goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. So it's super important that you understand how it is that your mate actually communicates. This is a lifelong journey. I'm gonna tell you that, number one.
Oh yeah.
Number one, when it comes to this communication thing, learning your mate is a lifelong journey. Learning your mate is a lifelong journey, especially for men, right? Because you want to please your spouse, but that means you have to learn them. You have to break out your book and take notes. You have to get to a place where you're daily educating yourself on how this person thinks, on how this person reacts, on how this person feels about one thing or another. And then being in tune with those things, you know when to communicate certain things and when not to. And you know what? Because like I said, you're going to go through all kinds of things in your life and marriage together. You need to be able to talk through those tough times. Things that happen in marriage, you don't intend to happen. You don't plan for them to happen. You don't know. It's just like, to quote Forrest Gump's mama, life is like a box of chocolates. You could pick one of them up and like it, love it, and you could pick the next one up and hate it. You have to have enough courage to pick that third one up, knowing that it's a possibility that you might like it or you might hate it. So you got to pick it up and be like, okay, well, I'm going to keep pushing on in this marriage and determine whether or not, hey, we can get through this. As long as we have a discussion about it, okay, I like this about you. Y'all get where I'm going with this. I don't like this about you. You got to be able to communicate those things.
Yeah.
Think of the spouse as the box of chocolates. There are going to be things you like about them. There are going to be things you don't like about them. And your ability to communicate in a way that is effective on the things that you don't like will help for you to make a better relationship. And your ability to receive that same communication back from them regarding things that they don't like will make your relationship actually work. So communication is number 2, right? Being able to discuss things. Listen, there are people that go through tremendous heartache in marriage. They lose a child. They lose a loved one. They whatever the case may be.
You gotta learn how to comfort it. Go ahead.
That person. No, you can go ahead. Jump in
that person. Go ahead.
That person is going through, and maybe because you lost a child, you're both going through at that same time, and you have to figure out how to lean on one another. Both can't be weak at the same time. Someone has to be strong, and then there are going to be times when the strong one becomes weak, and the other one who was weak has had a chance to grieve, could be strong for the other person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to be strong together. But there's gonna be. Go ahead.
I was gonna go give them examples of our marriage, because sometimes you need examples. Like the parts, like things in your marriage can really change. Me and my husband have a lot of things that happen in our lives. Even before this YouTube thing, we have owned businesses, have children. When you have a child, that's gonna change the dynamics of your marriage.
Definitely.
When you go to school for something and you both in college while you're raising a family, that's gonna change the dynamics of your marriage. Working jobs that have, very, very strenuous type of demand is going to be an effect on your marriage. Anything, a business, anything that happens in your, and you have to learn how to cope with it. You have to learn how to put strategies in place where you and your husband can come together and be like, okay, let's check this right now at the door. One thing about me and my husband, we always got to a point where we like, okay, something ain't right, something is off. Let's sit down, let's talk about this thing. It's time for us, because we know we have to spend time together. We're each other's best friend, and we know that along the years we have learned that we have to have date night. We have to spend that time together. We have to say, okay, baby, just me and you, let's spend some quality time. Because if you don't, tell me, you will end up losing yourself in this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where, you sleep in a separate bedroom, or your sex life is non-existent. You don't even have sex no more. You don't even look and desire to have sex. Or you stay in the same house, not even having a conversation. You're literally not even waking up there in the morning and saying, good morning, how are you? It's always, and you don't even realize.
They go in there and all this stuff. And this happens quite a bit in marriages. It happens quite a bit in marriages. And the reason why is because as a man and as a woman, or whatever the case may be, the situation when you're young and you're growing into who you are is that you are striving to become everything that you've always wanted to be, career-wise, in the family, with kids, and all of these things are not happening, in a series manner, one after another. They're happening all at one time.
Yeah.
As a man, you're trying to further your career. You're going to school, you're getting your education, you got one job, you're trying to get that next promotion and that next promotion and that next promotion, and you're putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into that part of your life. But you also have this other part of your life, which is your spouse, and then you have to spend time and put effort and energy into them, as well as now you introduce children, and it's like things become strained and stressed. Marriages go through this all the time.
All the while,
some of them come through just fine. And some of them get fractured. And the reason being is because
no communication.
Marriage is not for the weak.
Right.
It is not for the weak.
Right.
You have to be able to take some lumps and still say, you know what? We in this together. Because believe it or not, in marriage, your love's gonna go up and down, or at least your sense of love is gonna go up and down. When you're in the beginning stages, it's like you infatuated, so in love, and it's all goo goo gaga,
heart racing,
and all that stuff. You get all those flutters, and then you get, you 5-10 years in, and you love this person genuinely to the point where the love that you thought you had in the beginning really becomes something that you say, I really thought I was in love, but now 10 years in, I know I love you. You know what I mean? It's a difference. Like you graduate on that scale of love to something where it's like, okay, I love you unconditionally. I just love you. I'm gonna always love you. Nothing's gonna change that love that I have for you.
Yeah.
And this actually is a dangerous point in relationships. Why do I say that? Because you've gotten to the place where you love this person, and really nothing's gonna change that love. You love them. You love them enough that if something happened, you could be with them and still love them, and you could be without them and still love them. You see, y'all hear what I'm saying? So the love has done gotten to a place where it's like family love. It's like I could love a brother and not see him for years, but I still love him because of my brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I say it's dangerous, because you begin to think to yourself that love is going to keep this whole thing together, and you forget to put in the work.
I say it's a difference, because you can love somebody and not be in love.
That's exactly true. And so a lot of people don't understand what that means.
So you will have to be in love, like literally that person. You can't be you miss that person when they're gone. They overnight somewhere. You're on the phone with them and you're talking to them, even though you know that you've been with that person and they live in the same house you live in, but they is across the town, and you just still talking to them on the phone like as if that's your best friend, or if that person out, what you doing? Like that. So you gotta keep that open.
All right, number 4.
Excuse me.
Number 3 was balance. If y'all didn't get it, balancing between all the things that happen in your life. But number 4 is you got to work on yourself. A lot of times in marriage, you get lost.
You sure do.
You get lost in everything that is going on, everything that is the unit. And you lose yourself in that process. You lose yourself in putting your head down and saying, I'm going to keep churning and churning and churning and churning until I make butter. You know what I mean? You lose yourself in the process of trying to get to the upper echelon of whatever career you desired or is trying to be. And if you don't take the time to do some self-evaluation in that process, to really get back to your foundation and your center, the thing that other person fell in love with you about can easily be diminished, can go away. You haven't put any effort into being who you are because you're too busy trying to be everything for everybody.
That's real.
So you have to be able to take time, one another, to self-reflect. And say, hey, you know what? I used to do this and I used to do that.
Right.
I need to get back to those things. Not to say that your change that you've made over the years is not good and valid in some areas, but in some areas we drift from the foundations that we used to have and share. And remember, going back to number 1, number 2, that foundation is everything. Number 1, that foundation is everything, and being able to be who you are in certain situations can make or break your relationship, because you become somebody totally different.
You do.
And it happens. People say you grow apart. Everybody, y'all heard you grow apart. You grow apart. Yeah. You grow apart. And my thought on growing apart is that you will grow in any direction that you allow yourself to spend the most time. That means if you allow yourself to spend the most time with your spouse, you're going to grow with them, right? If your career, their career pulls you apart, and there's a lot of individual things happening in the relationship where you off individually doing this and they're off individually doing that, and it's constant like that, you just become an individual.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like they single in a marriage.
Yeah.
They literally do. They gone all the time. They ain't never with their spouse. They wear the ring, but there's no bond and connection left. It's just like, okay, yeah. I know a few guys that say that's how our marriage works.
Right. And that's the thing about it is you said some people say that's
I know a few guys that say that. That's how our marriage works because she away enough that I'm okay. I laugh at it, but it doesn't work that way really well. It really doesn't.
It doesn't. It kind of separates you and not bring you. It don't bring it.
It does. People say that absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think that absence just makes you miss somebody, and you miss them for only enough time as you get back to normal, right? It's not a fonder thing. You still, you know what I mean? The longer you absent from them, the more that those feelings go away. That's the whole point of separation. You know what I mean? People separate. This is part of marriage, right? People separate in marriages for a lot of different reasons. But during that time of separation, you're hoping one of two things happen. Either you figure out you really love each other and you really want to be together and you can get through the thing that whatever caused you to separate, or you're hoping that those feelings that you still have go away so you can move on with the rest of your life. That's the one or two things that are happening in that process. And that's the whole point of being separate. So if you're separate in your marriage a lot, you know what I mean? It just allows for those type of separation or distance to become permanent easier. If I ain't around you a lot, it's easier for me to say I don't need to be around you.
All right.
You know? It's just a hard thing. Like when you wake up every day and your spouse is next to you, you used to that.
Right.
That's you. You wake up every day and you alone, even though you married. That's difficult.
Very.
It doesn't mean that it destroys a relationship. There are plenty of relationships where the husband has gone off to the military, or there are relationships that work in that way. But you know what you're getting into when you get into it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a surprise. It's not something you figure out later. It is you married a military man or woman or whatever the case may be, and that is the situation, that you are in. And it's tough when it's tough. And it's good when it's good.
Y'all, and and also too, I don't know if this is off the subject or nothing, but it's still marriage. But when you in a marriage that women are different than men. I'm gonna say let you know that. We as women are very, very sometimes emotional and everything, and we need to have that connection. That love connection, that attention, that special attention, that special, I'm into you, this and that. And when that is not happening, that can tend to have a thing of you know what I'm saying?
Negative
a turn off.
effect
on your relationship.
Yeah.
So you gotta let that man know, listen, what's wrong with you? Well, we gotta work on that.
And I think the flip side is that, as men, like I said, going back to you being so focused and trying to, put your head down and do every single thing and be the breadwinner and the spiritual leader and everything for your family, the father and the husband and all this stuff, you get to a place where it's like, men just don't, at least from my experience as a man, don't think the same way. I can put my head down, go to work, do all this stuff, and still be like, oh yeah, I love you.
That's what I was gonna say.
We just like that.
Yeah.
I'm not emotional like that where I need, you know what I'm saying? I just was like, look, I know I love you. I know that I'm here. I'm gonna be here. I'm doing all of this that I'm doing
for you, for us.
For you, for us. That's how I feel. That's how a lot of men feel when they're doing all of these things. You got a song that came to my head, y'all. He said, if you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight. And the whole point of that song was, when I'm gone, you want me at home. And when I'm at home, you telling me what your girlfriend's got that you ain't got and you want it. That's how the song go, y'all. And so it is the challenge of every man in that situation to balance the two and really be when you're at home and you're with your spouse, to be in the moment, to be emotionally attached, to be emotionally attentive in the moment. When you are, when you have the opportunity to do something special or do something that you maybe haven't done in a while because you had your head down churning, that opportunity, please take, because that could be the change in the course of your relationship that you didn't even know. Because like I said, a lot of times men, they be like, their relationship is ending and they don't even know what happened.
Exactly.
They don't even know what happened.
Yeah, let me just say something. Many times,
happened.
And we have had conversations like years. We've been in this for 20-something years. And I would have to have conversations with my husband like, baby, what about, I need some time. I need some attention. I'm like that. And my husband is more like, hey,
I'm working.
I
got overtime. Right. I gotta get this. I gotta pay these bills.
And he is the man. He's a man of the house, and I do have to understand that. But at the same time, listen, y'all. My husband spoiled me, and and when you get that attention in the beginning, and you think you gonna stop because you busy doing this and that. No, you better make some time, because if you don't, then I'm gonna be looking at you like you crazy. Like, okay, let me not worry about what you doing. Let me just do me.
That's pretty much it. And the thing about it is that as the man, you thinking, okay, I'm going off to work, I'm doing all this overtime, I'm paying all the bills, I'm taking care of everything. I'm doing the work that is the support of the family, right? So you thinking, okay, well, it's time to make a withdrawal. Mm-hmm. It's time to make a withdrawal, and what's going on? Whereas she's like. She's like, hey, you haven't spent no time with me. You ain't supposed to be there. I'm like, well, what all that work I'm doing? What's all that?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she like, no. You gotta spend some time. We gotta spend some time. And that's the way that's the difference between men and women, how we think.
And see, my husband knows now.
Oh,
he knows now. So,
lifelong study,
we've been together for so long, but he knows now. Oh, I better be doing something, baby. I ain't wasting time together for a while. Let's do this, because he know.
You better figure out the thing that she likes most, that she enjoys to be surprised with, and do it often.
Right.
And study. I know that there's like. There's 5 things or 5 ways you should touch your wife and stuff like that. Study all of that. When it comes to marriage and it comes to, the things you should actively and constantly be thinking of, man, do your homework on that. Get that in your system. Mm-hmm. Start doing the touching and the rubbing and in the non-sexual manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just like, hey, I come up to you and just kind of put my arm around you.
My husband is a touchy-feely guy, y'all.
Stuff all like that. You know what I mean? You got to do all of that. Cause I'm going to tell you, fellas, y'all going to want to make a withdrawal at some point. And so you going to have to make some deposits. You're going to have to, you all right? You're going to have to, do the work. I forgot what number 5 was, but I would just tell you this. I would go back to, you sure you okay?
Yeah, I went down the wrong pipe.
I would just go back to saying this. Marriage is not for the faint of heart. And you're going to go through some stuff. Lots of it.
Yep.
Lots of stuff. You're going to go through stuff that you didn't think was ever going to happen to you in your relationship. And because you made that vow, you can't just say, well, hey, you know what? I don't like you no more. Forget you. It doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. You have to be mature enough, understanding where you are in your own self, what you can take and what you can't take, right? And if you come across a situation in a relationship where you've hit something that you feel like you can't take, or it's very difficult to take, before you throw away a relationship, before you throw away a marriage, set yourself some ground rules and set yourself some boundaries within yourself. Really take some time and really sit down and write down, look, this is what I could put up with. This is what has to change. And then move from there. If the person during that discussion is willing to make those changes, then see what happens. Remember, going back to life is like a box of chocolates. You picked up that first piece and you loved it. And then you picked up the second piece, which might be the second phase of your life, and with that person, and you don't like it. And something's happening, and it's nasty, and it's not what you wanted. It's not what you thought was going to continue to happen after you tasted that first piece. The strength comes from having the courage to pick up that third piece. Having the courage to say, this happened. Whatever the case may be, whatever it is that is impacting your relationship at the time, this happened. How do we pick up and keep going? You know what I mean? Because all kinds of stuff happen in marriage. But if you got two strong people who are committed, who share the same foundation, the same starting point, the same common ground, communication, conversation can be had as to how to go to the next step. It can be.
Hey, y'all, let me tell y'all this. I'm not a believer that you need to stay together because of children.
Oh, yeah, no.
No. It ain't that.
No.
Because at the end of the day, I gotta be happy. And I know my husband's the same way. He has to be happy. If you're not happy and that's not your best friend, and we can't tell each other everything, then what's the sense of us even trying to keep the thing going? If you're gonna disrespect me, I'm gonna disrespect you.
Right.
You in this other room, I'm in this other room. That ain't no marriage. Also, too, marriages that come together, you have to get to the point where, like, my husband's a homebody. He's a family man. So he don't do nothing. Everywhere he go, I'm with him, or he around me, or, you know, it's like, but I guess different marriages work different with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, some of your friend Mary said, "Look, when I'm around, not with her, that's what worked for us."
Well, yeah, and that's the thing.
I'm not saying that cannot work, but for us, my husband's more of, he doesn't have friends like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he talks to other men, but he's not like that. He not go out or whatever. And us being together like that it's really like when we moved to another state. It really brought us closer and made our bond even stronger because we don't have family involved in our marriage. That can be a very, very bad thing when you have family involved or your friends involved telling you what you need to do and what he needs to do and this and that. And you telling them all your business. And me
That's
and
how
my
family
husband,
get involved. You
it's
tell them
more
all your
like,
business.
right, tell them all your business. We like, oh, let's pray about it.
Right.
You know? And that's just it.
That is the key.
Because sometimes.
It's the key for us.
Yeah.
It is the key for us.
Let's pray about it.
Is just and you know what, sometimes it's together prayer, sometimes it's praying by yourself, sometimes literally it's like Lord, help me to figure out this situation, lead me in this process, help me to understand it, you know what I mean? And that's why I say foundationally, if you have common ground there, you can get back, you can overcome anything.
Anything, y'all.
If you have common ground and foundation, if you have good communication skills,
yeah.
And good communication skills lead to trust, right?
Yeah.
Trust is a big thing. We all know that. But if you've picked the right person, someone who you feel can trust, and they haven't broken that trust, and y'all communicate well, and y'all share the same foundation, and the same kind of goals, when you come up against something, you just revert back to what is your foundation. Right. And it makes it so much easier because you already know that you have that in common. Now this thing that you guys are in disagreement over can be rectified by first going back to the thing that you got in common and then having a communication from there. Having a conversation from there. Yeah. Look, this is what we talked about in the beginning. Right? Understanding that things change. That's how we deal with stuff. So I think that if marriage from a man's point of view may be different than marriage from a woman's point of view. Very much may be. However, the vow is the vow. The vow is the vow. It is supposed to be till death do you part. Not when you feeling super lovable and you're not feeling super lovable
Right.
and you up
You
and
wanna give 'em
down.
away.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, after 20 years, I mean, you've experienced all of that. All of the up and the down and you done been through all of the cycles of love. You know what I mean? All of the phases of love. And if at that point you still are committed to staying together, that to me is a solid marriage.
Yep.
That's why it's unusual to see long-term marriages break up. Happens, of course.
Yes,
and they
happens
say when it happens that the marriage was breaking up. Yeah, it was on the down slope.
Right.
Halfway through. Literally, that's what they say. And for a lot of different reasons. I think it goes back to the reasons that I suggested in the beginning, which was individuals in a marriage seeking their own individual goals. For example, you hard at work trying to be senior vice president of whatever company, CEO of whatever company, and that is your main ambition, right? That's your main goal, and you're doing all this work to get there, and then you get there, you arrive, you the CEO, you the senior vice president, everything's good, except for your kids are grown. You miss most of their lives, their little league games. You missed their recitals. You missed all of those things because you were doing all this work. And yes, you are successful, very successful, and you make a lot of money and you support the family and everything is good on that end. But the moment them kids go off to college, you get a divorce.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you don't have a relationship.
Right.
And now if the conversation is not centered around the kids, you don't have anything to talk about. You don't know that person anymore because you haven't been around them. You've been busy being your individual self, achieving your individual goals, and sacrificing the love of your life that once was your love, and now it's over.
That's why you have to work on you throughout this whole thing. My thing is, I think a lot of marriages fail. And let me just say this one more thing, because I know we finna go. But I think a lot of marriages could have been saved if they would communicate early on when they saw the thing happening. When you are a person and you know there's something in your marriage and you're like, man, I don't know what it is, but something's off, and you gotta clock it right in the beginning, because if you don't, time makes it worse. When it goes past, time going past, and it's going by, then if you look up, it's like 2 years and it's been over with.
And meanwhile,
it ain't
all those
rectified. You can't
feelings
rectify. It's festering, it's building up, you becoming bitter, you like, I can't stand him, and then it's just too much. You know what I'm saying? But if you clock that thing, and when I say early on, I'm talking about within another week or two, you be like, man, what's up? You know, or within that month or whatever the case may be, you can't let it go on and on, because I know so many marriages where they just like, man, we sleep in a separate bedroom, but we just make it work. We just like roommates. We just make it work. Yep. But we not, you know what I'm saying? And that is not real. That ain't gonna happen in this household. It's just saying, because if we not happy, trust and believe it, I will be gone. Gone. I'm happy with my marriage. I'm in love with my husband. And my thing is, we still have, whatever. We together. You know what I'm saying? And we get it together. My thing is, at the times we be like, okay, baby. We would still literally be like, if we working so much, we'll say, let's stop. We need to plan a couple of days off.
It's a short vacation. It's a mini vacation.
We call it mini. And we'll go in our own town.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We will literally go up the street.
It don't even matter. You go get a room somewhere, as long as it's not in a place where you're doing work.
You changing the scenery of everything, and you gotta get it together. Because if you don't, your kid, you know what I'm saying? You don't raise your kids. They over there living their life. They finna get married, do their own little thing. They ain't studying about it. It's us that have to get it together. You gotta get it together. Not only when your kids are in the house, you know what I'm saying, but even when they're outside the house. But it's more important to have it together even when they're in the house. Don't think that you just have to, because it's so
cater to your kids all the time.
Exactly, because
you gotta spend time in your relationships. So when the kids are gone, You know, we all get it. We've been through the phase where you're doing nothing but running the kids around to this thing and that thing.
Gosh,
and then you got to go to work and you got to go to church and you got to go. And all of these things are all happening. We get all of that.
You just have to take some time.
And you spending the weekends going grocery shopping and putting all the grocery stuff on.
And you know what, baby? It was really hard for us when we had Darius. When you have a new baby, a newborn, and you don't have babysitter and you trying to work third shift. That stuff with you. But you know what we'll do? Me and my husband, remember that time we used to go in the front room and we'll lay out little blankets and stuff, and this is just our days, and we'll have him sleep, the baby sleep.
He sleep in our room.
Right in our room.
And we in the living room. Because
and we'll have our time with some music, candles. Because if you don't,
you gotta have your quality time.
It'll slip away. And you can't let that stop you.
Love has to be cultivated like a garden. You have to dig and fertilize, and you gotta put the work in. You gotta do the work.
Darius.
It's all to it. You gotta do the work. He don't like my analogies, y'all. You gotta do the work.
We get it. We got
y'all, Darius is crazy.
No,
Love is like a garden. You gotta do the work, y'all.
It was a box of chocolates and it was a garden.
It's all of that. Yeah. It's all of that. But for people that are new to marriage, know this. I know you in love. I know it's great. Y'all gonna go through some stuff.
You gonna go through.
And it's okay.
It's normal.
Okay. It's normal. Just because you're going through something don't mean it's broken. Right. It doesn't mean it's never gonna work again.
Right.
It just means you're going through a rough patch, and you need to figure out how to communicate through that rough patch and compromise through that rough patch.
Exactly.
Without compromising who you are, but compromise in the things where you can find common ground and proceed, because it's not over.
Right.
It's not over.
And we're not telling y'all to be standing no mirrors that y'all getting domestic violence.
No,
or somebody cheating on you every second way. You got every other person, and you know they got with this woman, that woman. They bringing threesomes in, and they trying to get this. No, we ain't doing all that.
That went left fast.
Well, I'm just saying.
But yes,
some marriages are like that, you know. So you don't want to do that. It's got to be, you know what I'm saying? We're not telling you accept everything and say, oh yeah, we just make it work.
Right.
But you got to know your worth. And you got to know that at the end of the day, you both have to be happy. He has to be happy coming home. I got to be happy coming home or living with that person. Or else it's going to show in your life.
It is definitely going to show. People going to see it.
People going to see it. I don't care.
People see it before you see it.
Right.
A lot of times people see it before you see it.
They're like, oh, you faking.
Let me tell you something. Men and women see it before the other person see it. And you know what? They don't say nothing. You want to know why? Because they want to be next runner up. They in the batting cage. They in the batting cage, swinging at air, trying to be the next runner up.
Meaning the person be with that person.
Yep, that's what it is. Trying to be the next runner up.
I don't know about that.
So, anyway,
Darius, get your butt out of here.
Okay, I hope you guys are done now.
Anyway, y'all, she's still crackling and chewing. Look, there's a whole lot more and a lot of more detail to what we discussed. That came from the top of my head. No time in really putting together what I would call a little mini series on something like that goes into detail. But we hope you got something out of it.
I'm sure y'all hope y'all got something out of it.
You guys get a show for marriage counseling because this is so cute.
Whatever. Y'all hang in there. Stick with it, y'all new couples. Stick with it. It'll work, but you gotta communicate, and you cannot disrespect each other. We forgot that. You cannot disrespect each other
at all.
The low blows and all that other stuff that you like to do. I know some men and some women, and they good at that.
Yeah.
Oh, and you excuse it.
We've all done it. We've all done it
because you're angry.
Yeah, even us. We have all done it, but me and my husband have to clock that.
Yeah, you excuse
you have
it
to clock
because you're angry.
Yeah.
But no, it's not. There's no excuse. And a lot of times it don't come back. Especially with some men. Like me, there's certain things you're not gonna call me. There's certain things you're not gonna say to me.
Disrespect him as a man.
And disrespect me as a man. This is certain things that, and I'm sure every man has whatever it is that is.
Every man, every woman has their boundaries.
I'm sure every woman has that too. You have to have some boundaries in who you are as a person that says, look, I'm not gonna take that.
That disrespect. Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna take that.
That's the all-time high.
You can hit below the belt, and it could cause irreparable damage to your relationship. Period.
And never ever come back.
Yeah, period. So be careful what you say to your spouse. Be careful.
Because it can hurt their heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's deeper.
It definitely is.
Words can hurt deeper.
It
it's like
is.
scars, wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Deeply. But anyway, y'all, we're going to let y'all go. Because we've been talking. And then Darius sitting up here being a bugaboo.
I'm the producer. I was about to.
He giving us the wrap up. He giving us the wrap up.
Because he hungry.
No, I'm not. I ate.
What you eat?
I woke up this morning and I got.
At 7, I know. I heard you.
Darius,
Yeah,
I
heard you.
Darius, you had just went to sleep.
Crazy.
I heard you.
Thompson, what are you doing? I scared the heebie-jeebies out of me.
I didn't know that you would be up at that time of day,
What was
especially
you up
trying to eat
for?
something.
I made a pizza and yes, it was delicious.
Anyway.
So
All
skinny
And I ate it
self.
all.
right, baby. I gotta
A meeting?
return a call.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Wow.
I'll see y'all. Peace out. Peace, love, and hair grease.
What's up, my
I got the sauce. Smackalicious. 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 I got a craving for some crab legs. I want boiled eggs. I want shrimp. I'm a bougie chick, a whole mukbang. Gotta have that lemon rain, and I dip everything. It's smackalicious. Beat love, beat love, beat love 3 times. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Beat love, beat love, beat love 3 times. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.